All right, so we're back here on another Overreaction Monday. We got a packed show for you tonight. I got my guys in the building, my Off the Ball Network colleagues. I got my guy Jeff. Fins up. What's going on, Jeff?
Man, I'm glad to be on the show, man. It's good to see you all.
Yes, Jeff needs sports. Then I got my guy Mo from. What up, Mo? What's up?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all living?
I'm good, man. Up in flames,
Yeah.
podcast. We here.
Represent.
Yes, indeed. And then last but definitely not least, my guy Steven. What's going on, man?
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank y'all so much for having me. So happy, so stoked to be here on Overreaction Monday. It's the best show out there on a Monday evening.
And that's facts.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course, breaking the game with Steven and Austin as well. So definitely appreciate you guys for stopping in, man. So, man, what a crazy week of week 9 in the NFL season. So we're gonna have our overreactions this week. So first thing first, we got our biggest winner. So I'm gonna go around the horn. I'm gonna go with you first, Steven.
Man,
Who was your biggest winner this week?
this is the only right answer. It's the New Orleans Saints.
Poof.
This is the only right answer. I don't know how anybody else is going to come different because how much were we talking about? First off, if you remember on CU Sunday, which is an Off the Ball Network exclusive show hosted by, a couple of us here on this show right now, unanimously selected to win this weekend were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we spoke glowingly of the GOAT, Tom Brady, and adding the Hall of Famer, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski, the former 24/7 WWE champion, Cameron Brate. They added to their running game. They got Rojo. They got Fournette. Their offensive line is good. Tom Brady's so good on offense that their defense is phenomenal. Like everything that has been spoken positively about this team all came tumbling down against Drew Brees and a couple of wide receivers. You may have heard of them. Can't guard Mike and Emmanuel Sanders, who fresh off of Super Bowl appearance with the San Francisco 49ers. That defense, we were clowning on Janoris Jenkins on CU Sunday. That boy came ready. That dude must have heard us talking noise on the show because, man, come last night, that dude was ready. Lattimore, we did what we expected. He did that against Mike Thomas. That defense was all over the place, and was New Orleans, right? And now if you watch ESPN, Max Kellerman, you could tell he was ready for today because he is so against Brady. But he brought up great points that, like, when everything goes right, we talk about all these intangible things that Tom Brady brings to the table. But all those turnovers, aren't ever really one of those things that we talk about when they lose on the following day. It's somebody else's fault. It's Bruce Arians, who, was famously fired from being a head coach. And now all of a sudden he's a great head coach. It's the defense's fault. It's the receivers ran crazy routes or the game plan wasn't correct. Whatever happened, Tom Brady was out there, and he did not look like Tom Brady. He looked like my guy, Jared Goff, out there when he played your Miami Dolphins there, Jeff. So this is the only right answer. The biggest winner are the New Orleans Saints.
I can't agree with you, but that's a right answer. I can't agree with you.
The right answer.
Yeah.
I
Mo,
agree.
yeah. So who was your winner, Mo?
I'm gonna go with the Miami Dolphins and
Of course it's
Tagovailoa, Tua Tagovailoa individually. I think he's the biggest winner of Sunday for the simple fact. Well, he we had questions after week 1, even though he came out of a victory. What he throw for like 86 pass yards. You get it real safe. The defense got him the victory. And for him to go out there and perform and look like he's up to par, obviously it's only a second game, so you can't put what he's done in 2 games, or you can't take too much from one game and put him in the category. But this looks like a really good group of rookie quarterbacks between Joe Burrow, Herbert, and Tua. And so that's why I take away that he's the biggest winner, is because there were so many questions about Tua, and then he went toe for toe with Kyler Murray. And I get it, the Cardinals aren't the best team in the league, but they're up there. They're competitive with everybody they play with. Yeah, they're not. It's not like we're saying they were the undefeated Steelers, but the Cardinals are a good team. They're a playoff contending team.
Second in the NFC West right now.
Exactly, and Kyler Murray. He's Kyler Murray. He does Kyler Murray stuff, and so to go toe to toe,
he's phenomenal.
He's great. And so to go toe to toe and win, to me, come out, and win on the road against Arizona, I think it gives the Dolphins, but more so, I say my biggest winner is an individual, and it's Tua. I think people were very impressed with Tua. I was very impressed with Tua. I've been a big Tua guy since the draft. I felt like he was the best quarterback. Still may make me eat my words. All three of them might be really good, and it may be a Big Ben, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers situation. You know, I've seen comparisons of those three to them three, and it could be like that.
Fitting.
And Tua could end up being the Phillip Rivers where he's got the stats and he puts up the numbers. He just doesn't win much or win anything. You know, has occasional great seasons.
Throws 30 interceptions.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going with Tua as the biggest winner. The Miami Dolphins 5-3, and you know, it's making my pick that everybody said was a hot take when I said it, that the Dolphins were going to go to the playoffs this year. But it's looking very possible at 5-3. I'm looking pretty right. You know, I was the only one to pick the Dolphins last week.
No, sir.
I was literally the only one to pick the Dolphins last week.
Oh, last week.
Last week. No.
I was the only one to pick them this week.
Last week, I was the only one to pick the Dolphins last week. So, I've been riding with the Dolphins, going out on the limb. And so, I think they're the biggest winners. To be 5-3, for Tua to look really good in his second game, I'm going to go with Tua Tagovailoa and Jeff's beloved Miami Dolphins.
Can I ask you a question real quick before we transition?
Go ahead.
So if you expect this from them, and I'm not criticizing, I'm just curious on your thought process on how you analyze this. If you're expecting this from him, like, how does that make them the biggest winner when nobody was expecting what we saw from the Bucs and the Saints?
Right, but I think for the answer to that, I think I wouldn't consider the Saints the biggest winner because I know which way you're going to go with the biggest loser then. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like the Bucs go into the next category. And I mean, the Saints played great, but I just don't see them as the biggest winners coming out of this. They already blew out the Bucs once. I'm sure it was all hell Tom Brady and the Bucs and they're rolling. But I just look at a team that's not supposed to be 5-3 right now. Ultimately is 5-3. And I look at a guy who there were people, I didn't really hear no slander from none of us. But, you get on ESPN and you heard a lot of doubt about Tua, and especially with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert playing the way they did. He needed that game where, like, they won on the back of him throwing for 200-something yards, 2 touchdowns. He needed that kind of game. If he'd have had another performance like last week and they win, the questions would be, is Tua the guy for the future with all those draft picks they got coming in, next year? So that's why I go with them, because I feel like that Saints-Bucs game belongs in the next category, and I think it's all on the Bucs as far as being, not to go all the way into that, but I think that game belongs in the next category.
I mean, you're probably right, and I do see your point onto it. So thank you for letting me know how you know,
that's just how I came to the conclusion.
No, for
I
sure.
don't disagree with you. I do agree with especially the way you went. Saints could be considered the biggest winners, but I just think that game belongs in the next category.
Fair enough.
I think it's more beat up the Bucs than it is applaud the Saints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff, your biggest winner.
So I had two of them. I always have a backup. I think Mo's right. I think Tua is the biggest winner for everything he said. He nailed it because of question marks, going toe-to-toe with Kyler, which was so much fun up to the moment. And he looked really healthy. He looked agile and he looked healthy. I've been pounding the ground that this guy's not injury prone this whole time. That was a freak thing. He did everything he could do to play LSU last year, and it was a mistake. And I blame Nick Saban for all that. The guy is not made of glass. Like, he's fun. He looked great and he looked athletic. And of course, obviously I enjoyed it. But anyway, so the other one, honestly, my next choice, believe it or not, is the Buffalo Bills, because we all know the Bills are good, everything, but I really looked at it like in our minds, we're like, yeah, the Bills are pretty good. They haven't, especially Allen, they haven't had a good game. It's been 5 games that they've looked average, and everybody was starting to be like, they were squeaking by and they kept the wins up. Yeah, and then Allen comes out and trashes the Seahawks, and I don't care, how bad the Seahawks defense is. Seahawks are a really good team, and that's a big win. Against Russell Wilson, and just like we just talked about Tua, Allen went toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson. Wilson had a pretty good day. The interceptions are starting to add up. You got to figure that out. But to have over 400 yards, against the Seahawks and win that game, that he needed that game. I think we were all like, we were MVP, first 3 weeks?
4 weeks, and in the past 4 or 5 weeks.
And dude, dude just totally silenced everybody yesterday. I don't care how bad the Saints defense is, like, or the Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the Bills on that, but I think the right answer is Tua.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all could be wrong.
But I'll save that for later.
Yeah. Yeah. And I go with Mo as well. I think Miami. I think this is a simple fact of them going cross country to especially a team like Arizona coming off a win against Seattle last week. Well, 2
And they
weeks
took
ago.
their best shot too. I mean, Arizona played well.
Yeah,
and
they
the
did.
funny,
It was a good
and the
game.
funny thing about it, if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, like Miami shouldn't have had no business winning this game. They wouldn't even been in this game. I mean, you look at it from the stats, just across the board, rushing yards, passing yards, total yards, even time of possession. Arizona owned all of that, and then for Miami, so that to me lets me know, okay, this isn't a fluke per se. Like they can win these type of games. Like generally, I'm just gonna throw out some key ones where total yards 442, Arizona, Miami had 312. Rushing yards 91 compared to Arizona's 178. Those generally games you don't win games like that.
Oh, yeah.
Generally, you'll squeak out and win games certain like that, but. I just look at it like you said, and they're 5-3. They're at their win total that they did last year in half the season. So to me, it's a big victory. And I also agree with Steven where the margin of victory against Tampa Bay is huge.
Right. That's why I say they're the biggest winners, because you held this like all-world offense with like it was like I created a team on Madden with when you look at the
monkey.
You held TB12 to 3 points. He didn't throw a single touchdown in that game. How many games does Tom Brady play in where he doesn't at least throw a touchdown?
2000. Let me stop.
And on top of that, throw multiple interceptions.
Yeah, 3 at that.
Right.
Which and that goes. And I understand like one more point where I think it's more so how the Bucks, especially when we talked about when we transition from CU Sunday, where we looked at them, I almost was gonna put them in the contender portion of, we talked about that segment. But but I definitely think Miami, where they are now at 5-3, and then think about it, 2 West Coast wins. I mean, coupled with the San Francisco win a few weeks ago, and then coupled with this Arizona, and I'm like,
and the Rams.
They beat the Rams.
They beat the Rams last week.
We called them the best division in football, and they're 3-0.
Have they beat San Francisco too? I mean,
they beat them 41-14.
They mollywopped San Francisco.
They beat the mess out.
That's what I'm saying. So
But Jimmy
we're looking at a
Garoppolo.
team that has beat the entire NFC West.
Leading the NFC West.
Yeah, because y'all haven't played Seattle. Oh yeah, y'all did play Seattle, but y'all did y'all play Seattle yet? Yeah, y'all did.
I don't remember.
No, I don't think.
Okay, so excuse me,
so.
they're 3-0 against
3-0.
the
Yeah. 3-0 with Seattle left to play.
Yeah,
Y'all did. Y'all played them. Y'all played them. October the 4th. Y'all lost. What was it? 23-31. You almost won that game.
Y'all are in that game.
Yeah.
3-1, and then in the game against Russell Wilson.
Right.
But Steven, I do get your point. Like,
Right.
I do like the way you was going with that is just the only saying that, you know what I mean. That's the only right answer was like, but saying
I
like,
came in heated. I was ready.
You can't.
ready.
But the margin of victory, all
Y'all
that
reined
is
me in.
definitely
Not wrong.
And plus, even at
not
this
wrong at
point,
all.
if the playoffs started today, who would get the 7th seed in the AFC? The Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
The
Real quick,
Miami Dolphins.
The answer is really like Brian Flores for having the guts to. When he yanked Fitzpatrick, even I was, nah, man. And I'm like
we don't even know that was his call though, because like with the front office having multiple first round picks.
You ever met
Okay,
that?
I'm just saying.
I have no idea.
Nah, I think it might have been out of his hands because Steven was about to hit the point. With multiple first round picks,
You got to know who you got at quarterback.
They needed to see if this was going to be their quarterback because if Tua is the quarterback, like we all assume he would be, but you don't want to find out he's not. Next year, when you built around him and ultimately it crumbles because you don't have a quarterback. But now that you finding out,
right?
Now that you finding out,
Right. And you got Houston pick.
Christian
Yeah.
Hackenberg.
Yeah, but now you find it out. Like, now
Leave
you
that
find
man
out.
alone. He's already lost enough.
Yeah, but you finding out now that Tua is probably gonna be that guy. And those 3 first-round picks they have next year.
Now you can draft ETN or Pitts or
I said
somebody.
Jamar
Don't you
Chase.
tease me like
Jamar
that, Steven.
Chase at LSU.
Don't you tease me.
They probably won't be back. They're not gonna get Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase goes top unless they flunk. I think Jamar Chase go top 5, maybe top 10 at the worst. But I think they should start looking at ETN, Chris Olave,
Pitts,
guys like that. Yeah, guys that are gonna fall later. Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State, but they got a lot of options and 3 first-round picks.
But you know they got Houston. They got Houston picks. So
that's what we're saying.
Houston,
It's not just their pick. They got
Houston picks.
So
they might get an ETN or a Pitts or a
that's what I'm
whoever.
saying. It's crazy. Like,
I didn't think about
one.
Yeah, I ain't think about whose picks they really have. So yeah, they could.
We'll be down in like the 20s.
And they got 2 second rounders.
Yeah, so they got 5 picks in the first 2 rounds. Again, they struck gold. So that's why I said that's why I was so high on Miami going into the season was the acquisitions they made in the offseason and then all the draft picks that they had. And I feel like they pretty much hit on them and went the right route. I thought they were going to take a running back. Them leaving the second round without taking. Yeah, but I thought they were going to get like Jonathan Taylor, Dobbins. I thought they were going that route. So for them to come out of the second round and not grab, Taylor or Dobbins kind of surprised me. But the way they built their team, it's one of those, the rebuild has been so long. It might be you find your quarterback because Miami hasn't found their quarterback. They had a chance back in the day with Drew Brees, but up until then. So if they found their
they're in a
quarterback,
no pressure market too.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but if they do find their quarterback, which it seems like they have, and I'm not going to judge them week in and week out and say 1 week he's good, 1 week he's bad. We just got to see how it plays out. But
that's not fun.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But ultimately,
this is OverReaction Monday.
I don't want to be high on Tua 1 week and then next week just say he's absolutely terrible.
But rational Monday.
They've got 5 wins. They've got 5 wins left on their schedule.
Yeah,
they got 5 wins left.
And so that puts them at 10-6. That probably puts them in the playoffs. And so that's on rebuild, load up.
They're in the
year
playoffs.
one. This is year one realistically. Yeah, they've been rebuilding, but this is year one realistically of let's see what the rebuild results are. And I'm sure they were thinking 7-9. Maybe something like that.
I was hoping for 6.
Yeah, but
now, we're not there. But I mean,
they might come out of here 9-7, 10-6.
But I counted San Francisco, LA, and of course Seattle is all losses. I already had those as losses, and probably Arizona. That was 4 losses I had on them. They only got 3 of them. I'm way ahead of schedule. So
I had them winning this game. Just saying, I was the only one. I was the lone wolf in this.
But I'll take it. That was fun. I had fun watching.
I went the lone wolf last week. Steven went the lone wolf this week.
Well, last week was my team. I had to rep. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so. You couldn't go against him. I'm the only one probably right now that's picking against his team. So
I don't know.
I picked against my team.
Yeah, coach, you might be. You might.
I'm starting to.
You might be.
I'm at my wits end, and I'm like,
I can't even talk about this division. Did I look? Are they all 3 wins or all 2 wins or something?
So all 2 except Philly. Philly with 3-4-1, which and I've read a weird stat about that. So they have a 79% chance of winning their division. Now Pittsburgh is 8-0 in their division. They have a 72% chance of winning their division.
At 8-0 and at 3-4, you got basically 80%.
Well, your division gave them a little bit of a scare this week.
The New York Giants won in their last place.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a 3-way tie for last place. And Philly's up
second and
a game and a half or something like that.
They got an insurmountable lead with.
And what's funny? Right? And what's funny about all that is they gained another. Even during a bad week, they gained traction, which is the most bizarre thing about it.
I
can't.
3
They know they not. They don't play the Redskins. They don't play the Washington football team no more, Chris. No. If y'all play Washington 3 more times, y'all probably will win the division.
The Giants could mess around and win that division, though.
Yeah, because And that's and they've had some
Joe
close
Judge has that
games.
team.
That Dallas team could have won. Like, was the best NFC East team yesterday. That lost. Yet Dallas played the best out of that.
They were the best one that didn't play the other ones. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
But,
that
I mean,
Dallas game was that Dallas game was like, it's like I've given up on the season. So the wins
bother?
that you could get, like why bother? Why I try not even get into it anymore. But they had got me off my couch like, oh man, we might beat Pittsburgh, like, and I didn't think it'd be a turnaround, but it could be being in the NFC East, like, you know what I mean, like being in the NFC East, being able to pull off a W against the Steelers, that give us all the confidence in the world.
Right.
you know, daggone well, if Dallas would have beat Pittsburgh this season, that would be all the ammunition for following season for Super Bowl aspirations. We beat the only undefeated team in the NFL.
Listen, it'd be something crazy, but it's like, it's hard to like, why bother anymore? But then they do something. And I mean, I was impressed with Dallas yesterday as far as
right. That's all you asked for.
I thought
I want them to stop winning so they can go draft Fields. Like, that's what
But I
want.
think we're so bad.
No.
I think we're so bad. We don't have to try and tank at this point. Like, I think we're
thought
that
Steve
bad.
Lamb looked really good yesterday.
Yeah,
He looked good. Amari Cooper didn't look bad, but I think we're so bad now. We don't have to try and tank. We're gonna lose majority of our games. Like,
Correct.
We don't want to accidentally win though. Like,
yeah, we're gonna accidentally like beat the Giants. Accidentally beat the Redskins, even though that first game was terrible. But we might accidentally beat the football team. My bad.
No, you said.
But we might end up like accidentally getting a division win. But other than that, bro, we're gonna be a top 10 pick. And I'd just be interested to see what Dallas ends up doing with that, with having a top 10 pick, being able to go a bunch of different ways depending on who drafts.
I was gonna say, I got news for you. They're getting a quarterback because Dak is not coming back.
Dak is going to be the Eagles quarterback when he's right.
Ooh. Nah, I just
You know how that division. You know how the division.
Just bringing up where I could see Dak. I could see Dak in New Orleans. If they got the money on the books to give Dak something, or even a 1 year,
I would love to see my Rams get him. I know that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, your boy.
Dak from Louisiana though, and it wouldn't be a bad situation. You going over there, got Kamara
from Texas.
Nah, he's from Louisiana, so you got Kamara. Michael Thomas. You'll be home team. The hometown team in a sense, because I know the part of Louisiana he's from. You're either a Saints fan or a Cowboys fan. But it'd be possible if Dallas does end up letting him go.
I think that he'll want to face the Cowboys multiple times a year. Like, that's what I think.
He looked good in Atlanta.
I don't want to talk about the Cowboys.
Anyway,
this hurts.
We don't either.
It's not a sports show if we don't mention the Cowboys or LeBron James. Like, come on, let's
say
just
all
do
that.
it.
I mean, we can. Dallas could be a situation where we could gloss over.
Yeah, we can leave them out.
Absolutely, we can gloss over. So let's talk about the biggest loser in week 9.
Speaking of Dallas Cowboys,
yes. Well. Yeah, I mean, silver lining win. I'll put it that way for them. But
moral victory.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go around the horn, Jeff. Your biggest loser for week 9.
So since I get to go first, I'll take the easy pick. It's the Buccaneers. You can't look like a Super Bowl contender, and everybody is. Steven said everything Steven said about the Saints opposite for the Buccaneers. And the worst thing is you've lost 2 games to your rival in the division. That's ginormous in the division. So, I was going to say another team. If nobody touches on, I'll tell you why. But the Carolina won, and then you lost to the Saints in your division. So that makes it. And just the look like. Tom don't want to look like that. He looked like, he looked bad.
Below average.
Yeah, he looked
significantly.
And he doesn't like that. And so, and that's the game where Antonio Brown comes back. So it doesn't matter if that had anything to do with it. That's a factor in the storyline.
Yep.
And so, to me, since I get to go first, I'll take the low hanging fruit, and I'll take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a nasty L they took yesterday.
The lowest hanging fruit is probably the best one for eating, right? So there you go.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that's the answer. There's other answers, but I feel like
I happen to go first.
Like we all agree
That-
on. We
that-
all
no,
probably
that's-
could say that.
That's a answer, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's our answer.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mo, your biggest loser this week.
Like Jeff said, I mean, I think we all think. I think the biggest loser is the Bucks. We could beat up on them all day. I was excited for the game. Like, with my team being terrible, I look at great matchups, and that's what gets me. That's what gets me through Sunday. Like, I'm looking at great matchups, great games to look forward to, and I watched the Cowboys game just because it was the game before. It was on before the Sunday night game. That's really why I ended up watching my team play. But I'm gonna bring out. It's like one individual, and I wish I knew his name, but I'm gonna bring out that ref. That turned that interception that said that Marcus Peters interception was an interception. That is the biggest loser. They called it an incomplete pass, reviewed it, and turned it over and said it was an interception. And that changed the way the Colts had a chance of at least tying the game. That changed the game. Like, that was a true game-changing, terrible call. And so I'm going to give it to that ref that he is the biggest loser for making the right call, going back, reviewing it. Everybody sitting here saying there's no way that's a catch, and overturning and say that's an interception. That changed the game. The Ravens ended up scoring after that, go up 2 touchdowns.
Oh, that was a giant.
So it ultimately flipped the touchdown, and instead of the Colts, continuing their drive to be able to ultimately win that or go to tie that game, they go down 2 touchdowns, scrambling, with 3.5, 4 minutes left to play to try and score 2 touchdowns. More than likely, your chances of that are probably less than 10% if analytics tell you right. You probably have less than a 10% chance being down 14 with 3 minutes left. But that changed the game ultimately. And I know Phillip Rivers was pissed about it. I know all of Colts Nation was pissed about it. So I'm going to deem that ref as the biggest loser for altering the game in to me, a call that wasn't questionable. Like, it wasn't an interception. If it was very questionable, it'd be different. And you originally called it not a pick, but you want to review it. But for you to say it wasn't a pick, review it, still watch the same play and say it was, I'm sorry, that was a terrible call. So I'm going to go the biggest loser is that ref, just to shake it up a little bit and be a little different. And let you and Steven get to the 2 other teams or players that were disappointed.
No, my wife's a Ravens fan, and we watch those games intently. And when that happened, we were even like, "Why? Like that? This is desperation." And then I don't know, we did something, like looked up, and she's like, "Why did they got the ball? Was there a turnover?" And I'm like, then we found out that they gave him that, and I'm like, "Whoa." So you're right. It worked out on my end, but you're totally right. Because I was going to throw in there real quick. Phillip Rivers was on my list. Like that's not a great looking game for Rivers, but
Oh, here we go. Here comes the Brady people, Brady bunch. No, he won that. If they would have won that game, he would get all the credit. All Tom Brady. He inspires their defense. He galvanizes his troops. He makes everybody around him better.
Yeah.
3 points.
Absolutely. Hey, Steven, so who was your biggest loser this week?
All right. Well, since the low-hanging fruit is gone and, we have our little unique route that Mo went, I'm going to go with a different one. How about the Seattle Seahawks, right? So, I wouldn't say they're the biggest loser, but I mean, how about Russell? Here, let me rephrase this. Russell Wilson's MVP chances are the biggest loser now, right? Yes. Because 2 losses, right, against teams that could have gone the other way. Let's not forget that they only beat the Vikings by a point, right? And they've only they had a close game against Miami as well. So like a couple bang games, their defense is terrible, right? And it's not Russell Wilson's fault, right? Like, let Russ cook. He's doing his thing, but man, like, his individual accolade is taking a hit based off of the team performance, especially when they traded for Carlos Dunlap of the Cincinnati Bengals and they got Jamal Adams back. That defense was supposed to be bolstered up, ready to go. They still very well could be as their first game back with those 2 pieces, right? So they got some figuring out to do and whatnot. But Russell Wilson's, especially with the way that we just saw Patrick Mahomes come back against the Carolina Panthers, who could be an honorable mention in this category as well, because for a minute it looked like, oh no, like there was going to be 2 losses against teams that KC should just be smoking, right? So Russell Wilson is probably not going to be MVP anymore because of this game.
We can put something to bed right now. Like, I don't know how it's going to shake out. Mahomes is the best player in football, and it's not even close. He plays at a different speed. Like, I understand what Russ has done is awesome, but
yeah,
man,
absolutely.
You watch that guy play, you're like, oh no, this is so different. This is so different. Like what he's doing out there, he's just at a different speed than everybody else.
They were talking on First Take how already in like season 3 that people are already getting voters fatigue for Patrick Mahomes because he's so good that we expect that he's already been an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. Right, he's LeBron James of the NFL. So now we got to start giving out like these consolation awards for Russell Wilson, who's never got an MVP. So let's just give him one. Let's just make Russell Wilson feel better. And don't get me wrong, he was my preseason take. Yeah, he was my preseason take because I think that we were going to start. Yeah, right. That we are going to get Mahomes voting fatigue. Right, like we can't give him to every year. Right, so let's talk about what Tom Brady's doing at his age. Right. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. Like, we mentioned earlier that you brought up, Allen out of Buffalo. Like, he's no Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes is still cooking, only got one loss on the season, and is playing stupid efficient football. And now because of this loss, Mahomes is probably going to be a front runner. Yeah. Or the front runner.
Yeah, and I think the biggest loser has got to be Tom Brady. Like the Tampa Bay. I do agree, and I'm gonna just add another one to the biggest loser. Because like we were saying, funny, we talked about the MVP race, and remember how I was saying, hey, Tom Brady deserves to be there if he had a good game. Coach. And then now you're like the 3 interceptions yesterday. You're like, oh no, but yeah.
And then Russell Wilson throwing 2 picks. This is his, I think, second or third game with multiple interceptions on the season. Like, how are you going to give it to this guy over a machine in Patrick Mahomes?
Exactly. Yeah. But the biggest loser for the second week in a row, the Los Angeles Chargers. What the hell is going on in SoFi Stadium? What the hell is going on the left side? What is going on SoFi? Steven, your tenants, your AFC, your
little
AFC
brother.
Tenants, what the hell is going on? Like, once again, they were in the driver's seat to win this victory.
Yep.
They figured, okay, we were gonna get it. Then lo and behold, Isaiah Johnson comes out of nowhere, breaks up that pass to they were at one point was celebrating thinking they were going to win. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, Isaiah Johnson comes out of nowhere and breaks up that play. And once again, the LA Chargers lose by less than 7 points. They've lost 6 games. And then even dating back to last year. Right. And then last year, they were 2-9 in games decided by less than 7 points. It's almost like it's the same thing is going on exactly the same year. And I just hope for the life of me, they keep, and I keep on saying, I said this last week, I want Anthony Lynn to stay there. I want him there. I want him there. But my goodness, if we sit here once again next week and the same thing happens, it's gonna be some problems in SoFi.
Real quick, honorable mention, biggest loser, the fade route. The fade route with no time left on the clock. I don't know where you got to stand on this, but once you throw that, you have a 1 chance of winning the game. Like if you don't go over the middle, because you're not going to get the pass interference. The percentages are down of him catching it. You've got the out of bounds there. I don't like the fade route anyway, unless you've got a monster like Des Metcalf, somebody like that. Yeah.
No.
But to throw it with no time, like you're not going to get the pass interference. Fade route.
Yeah, and that's another thing with them. They're a talent. I always give them the benefit of the doubt. I always look at them as a talent. I definitely love Justin Herbert. Like, and me and Jeff will attest, we are still sorry to this day for the Justin Herbert slander that we have.
I believed in you, Justin. 2020. I believed in you. You're my starting quarterback in fantasy football.
The fade throw was great. Like he put it the only place you could.
He put it right in place. But like we said, Isaiah,
when you got a quarterback that athletic, why are you throwing the fade route? Get him out of the pocket. Let him give him a chance to scare. Like give him that little Patrick Mahomes flip back. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, and that's another divisional loss once again, and you're like, yeah. But hey, it is what it is, and man, back to the drawing board for those guys, for your little brothers, the tenants, the AFC tenants of your building.
Even get saddled with the Chargers
because the Rams,
the Rams, they're a traditional LA team where they share the stadium with somebody else.
They're like that.
So you got to do that in LA.
Yeah, let me find out. It's the Lakers versus the Clippers in the NFL.
Except they're both the Clippers.
Like, Mom,
correct.
Mom.
Well, yeah, both are.
They're both the Clippers.
Yeah, because
you're like, Mom, I'm going to town. You got to take the Chargers with you. If you want
to go up the road, you got to take Chargers.
Hey, we don't want to take
Chargers.
Chargers, hold the Rams' hand.
Right. All right. I'm going to have y'all wearing a big shirt, and y'all can walk around with a big shirt.
What's up, Josh? Good to see you, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So I always look at this time is, you're right. And the uniform too, yes.
Hey, now, I mean, the Rams now.
Like all
Rams
different.
Now.
You know what? They've grown
on me. I thought they were going to be terrible.
But I especially like when y'all played Miami. I was like, oh, that looks good. Like that's
it looks like
even when y'all beat us in those white on white, I was like, this is these some nice uniforms. Even when y'all beat us in the rain and a white on white.
Yeah, yeah.
We can have a uniform. We could do a whole uniform show. Let's
do that.
Yeah, we should.
You're out there. Mark that down. We're doing a uniform.
Yes, we doing a uniform.
Editor, take note of
and
this.
We're taking the Chargers powder blues out of it because that's a 1 seed.
Oh man, they got, and all of them. They got all great variations. Even the navy blue they wore yesterday.
Them Ravens jerseys. Some of them Ravens jerseys are sick.
That black on black is cold. I'm sorry, that black on black is cold.
Yeah, I like this year's Atlanta Falcons, man. Some of their combinations were great.
Yeah, I like that red on top that fade into black.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Yellow up there, that's real nice.
Some of them Seahawks uniforms are dope.
Yeah.
The neon one is the hardest one though.
Yeah, big time.
That neon one. I don't know, man. Miami's orange ones might be.
Ooh,
Miami's
orange ones
I like orange.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like Miami's orange.
I like when Ricky wore the orange out there like years ago, but I like the all white Miami. There's something clean about that when they're playing in Miami. That's a different show.
Absolutely, but we can
obviously.
We definitely can. I mean, especially the holidays rolling around. We need to probably see some content during the holidays.
Hey, we're gonna need a cut of whatever uniform sales we're helping promote right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll take it
3%.
Right,
5 minutes down the road.
Right.
I'll take that sponsorship.
The proceeds of this podcast for these birthdays. Right. Right. So
you hear that, Maddox?
Right, exactly. Give us a promo code.
Yeah, I get one.
Hello. Anyway,
you play to win the game. Hello.
Right.
Playoffs.
Well, my favorite part of the show, most definitely, it's got to be our overreactions for Week 9 of the NFL season. So I'm gonna go around the horn. I'm gonna go with you first, Steven. What's your overreactions this week?
Oof. I don't even know. Can I go? Can I let somebody else go? Let somebody else take my turn.
All right. Mo.
The biggest overreaction. It's really tough, man.
It is. This week is tough.
There's a few overreactions you could.
Jeff looks ready.
Yeah, Jeff knows where he wants to go, but there are a few ways you can go.
Like I know this.
But I think I'm gonna go away from probably anything. I think the Ravens are in trouble.
Ooh.
I think the Ravens are in trouble.
After a win?
Yeah, after a win, I think they're in trouble. Because that wasn't a great win. And I understand the Colts they're a good team, but they look real like handicapped on offense this year. And I know like the numbers are telling us that Lamar Jackson is up to this point is actually playing. Some of his numbers are actually better. But if you just that's me, that's where the analytics and the eye test, like if you only look at stats, then your argument will be Lamar's playing better than last year and he was the MVP. But when you actually watch the Ravens play football on offense, they're not that good. It almost like there's questions every week. There's questions every week. Has the league figured out Lamar Jackson. And I don't know if it's necessarily they figured him out. I just think Harbaugh has to diversify even more how he uses Lamar Jackson and let him be a pocket passer, creating plays himself. Let him be. Russell Wilson don't have a boatload of designed runs. Russell Wilson just know what to do in the pocket, and when he needs to get out, he gets out, and that's what makes him so effective. Is not only can he throw the ball, but he knows how to extend the play. So I think and Mahomes can do the same thing. Granted, Lamar Jackson don't have the arm that these guys got
and the weapons.
Yeah, and that's true. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, Hollywood Brown and that's basically it.
Yeah,
like, both
but
of those
also,
dudes that you just mentioned have guys on both sides of the ball, and they have dude in the middle.
But they went with the way their offense is set up. They went tight end heavy, so they do have multiple tight ends, and tight ends become a bailout for a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah. If anybody open, my tight end on the short route is open.
But if you got dudes on the outside, that's really where that works, right?
Yeah, you're right. But I think the Ravens are in trouble. They're gonna make the playoffs.
I agree with you.
They're gonna make the playoffs. I'm not arguing whether they're in trouble about making playoffs. But as far as making a deep run, I could see them losing the same way they did last year. Like this talented team on paper, the Ravens are almost second to none on talent, offensively and defensively. They just as talented as almost any team in the league. I mean, I think the Chiefs are up there, obviously. The Bucks are up there as much talent as they got on offense, but the Ravens, I think, balance out with the talent they got on defense. So I think it should be time for, even after a W, Ravens fans to kind of be worried about the second half of the season and the outcome, and are they going to be ready for the playoffs, or are they just going to be a really good regular season team that makes no noise in the playoffs? And I think that's very possible, and I also think if they don't start to use Lamar Jackson in a different way, because he's that versatile, he could fit in 3 or 4 different offensive schemes. If not, any coach could find something to do with Lamar Jackson
at multiple positions, like Taysom Hill. I mean, come on, like.
But I just think that they should start evaluating implementing more to their system, because it's a lot of RPOs and it's a lot of real college feel to me, and that's why a lot of guys like that don't be as successful in the NFL, is because that college style offense doesn't always work. Like, it pops for a year or two, but then you have to go back to the basics in the NFL, and you got to be a pocket passer. And because he's so deadly with his legs, stop making so many quarterback run plays and allow him to make plays with his feet based off of extending a play. So I think the Ravens are in a little bit of trouble. I just haven't been impressed with watching them these past couple weeks. So I do think they're in a little bit of trouble. I think that's an overreaction, because like Jeff said, it is after a win.
It's not. Because that's accurate.
I'm just not impressed with the Ravens winning. Well, right. Their record isn't.
It's what
they don't impress me with what they should with their record.
Mike Tomlin came out and said, after they beat the Ravens, like Mike Tomlin was asked about, how did you contain? He's like, look, we respect the guy, but we're not afraid of him. And this is one of the most right. That's what I'm saying. To your point,
he outplayed Ben Roethlisberger that game. He outplayed Ben Roethlisberger.
But the whole thing is,
what did
they're
that get
not
him?
Scared of him now.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying Lamar gave him the lead in the fourth quarter. That wasn't a Lamar game. He had a bad mistake early, I understand, but Roethlisberger didn't play great either. He just had a great throw at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's all it takes, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
But I think most on it, if you give me, if I'm the Ravens, if you give me a Deebo Samuel, I tell you what, they lost Willie Snead. That was a giant loss, because he would do so much dirty work for those guys and give Lamar, the outlets and stuff. Hollywood Brown has a place, but he can't be Deebo Samuel. You know what I mean? He's not.
They don't run an offense suited to a player like that. When Mo was breaking this down, I'm imagining what my Rams do, or kind of even how the Niners do, where they got a lot of horizontal movement before the play even comes. They're very stagnant.
That's what they ought to be running. I think they need to run more. They
take a lot of RPOs and stuff, and that works because Lamar Jackson is so elusive. But
everybody else is stationary.
And these D linemen are getting nothing but faster by the year. So, yes, his speed, but he's not outrunning linebackers like that. You seen that yesterday. He had one where he tried to go to the outside, and that D-line took the right angle, and he was fast enough for Lamar Jackson not to, cut up the field. And so I just think, it is maybe, overreaction, but I think the Ravens should be concerned about this second half of the season, even going into the playoffs, Because
that's a fair take.
Yeah, ultimately they don't. You don't want to be considered a really good regular season team that does nothing in the playoffs. That's not a great look. Oh, we go 14-2, 13-3, 12-4 every year and don't see a conference championship. Don't see a Super Bowl. But I could see the Ravens going that route, and it's not really. I mean, it has a lot to do with coaching because Lamar Jackson wrecked the league last year, and
he's a third-year quarterback too. Like I think people forget how young this kid dude
and because
is,
he wrecked the league in his second year, everybody you expect that, but at the same time,
Lamar Jackson's younger than my son.
Yeah, but when you, geez, Jeff,
yeah,
that's the
that might be the biggest overreaction.
But I think right, but to your point, Mo, where I think essentially the bar's been set with Patrick Mahomes because he's going to be linked with him. Unfortunately, just due to the fact that he's already has won a league MVP. What you have done now, you have to do what Patrick Mahomes do, lead your team to a Super Bowl. So it's pretty much and I think we talked about that in the preseason where we're looking at Lamar's big payday. He's gonna have to win a Super Bowl if he gonna command the $500 million,
which is ridiculous.
Contract. But I know. But no,
I'm not saying that you think it should be.
Oh,
I'm just, yeah.
But that's the thing about having an overachiever like Patrick Mahomes, where like you said, going to your point, Jeff, where people are expecting this every year.
But I think it could be. I think Mo has nailed it. I think they can build it. I think Lamar's the talent's there. I think he sees the game correctly.
Just spread it out.
I agree with Mo.
Just spread it out.
Like what I see is they need this. And here's what I think happened yesterday. Now, and this is where we differ as far as the future of Baltimore this season. I really think yesterday Harbaugh's like Phillip Rivers can't win this game. Go as slow as you can possibly go. Drag this game out. Phillip Rivers is not going to win this game because I'm like every time they went back to the huddle, I'm like because when Lamar gets going, man, that's when he's good. He's like he's like a basketball player. Like he's just keep going, keep moving.
He gets better as the tempo of the game picks up.
And you can see it in his face. And I think yesterday Harbaugh's like, nah, just drag this game out. If Rivers ain't going to win it, so we'll see. But I totally agree with everything you said. Yeah. But here's what happens. And then right now, if I give you the starting 32 quarterbacks from yesterday and you start ranking them, when you're done, you'll go, holy cow, Lamar's way up there. Like that's what's so weird is that like, we're all right. And then he's probably the sixth best quarterback in the league. Like if he was drafting quarterback today,
what's crazy too is like, while this is all happening, and you brought up this point just a second ago, Coach, Patrick Mahomes got paid. Who else got paid this offseason?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. What's he up to? What's he up to right now?
Struggleville.
Not a dang thing. Right now,
if we went around the horn as far as like our quarterbacks from our respective teams that played yesterday, we know Dak Prescott's the best. Like we know
throw Jared Goff away.
Coach, I think you would take Lamar over Kyle Allen, right?
I mean, yeah, and Alex, my guy, Club 1984. We the same age. That's my guy. I know you're right. I mean. Steven, I think my brain, yes.
You would take Lamar in LA.
I would take Carson.
It's a no-brainer.
Prescott, like I could keep going.
With my heart.
And Mo, outside of Prescott, you take Lamar.
Gary Gilbert.
I think about taking Lamar over Dak with the weapons.
No, not over
DiNucci.
Knock it off.
What I mean is, yesterday we all four of us would have took Lamar Jackson to start our team's games.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
And
Lamar Jackson with Woods and
everything most is great. But when you start breaking it down, you're like, well, this is weird. Like it just doesn't make any sense how this.
It's a tough critic. It's a tough critic on a top player. Like typically, you wouldn't get in and say a team with a top 5 quarterback is going to be in trouble. But I'm seeing the usage of Baltimore, and that's where that's what scares me is just watching them play. Is like let's throw the stats out the window for a second because stats are going to go against that argument. But when you just sit down and watch the Baltimore Ravens, there's something missing, and it's offensively. Like their defense is fine, it's something missing offensively. So ultimately, I think it just comes down to the way they're using Lamar Jackson. And
I think you're right, man.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago, Hollywood Brown he was pissed off about not getting the ball. He's like, what's the point of having soldiers if you're not going to use them?
That's
the struggle of the offense is like.
But what we just talked about, but you've got the best quarterback second best quarterback in football, Russell Wilson, throwing for almost 400 yards and losing. So that's where you're like, if you're a coach, you're like, I'm playing for my job. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Most definitely at the end of the day, that's definitely a coach has to. They do got to look out for themselves, but it's just like football.
I bet Lamar could throw for 400 yards and lose. I'm being honest.
Yeah, he could, but if he throw for 400 yards, that'd be.
But I think
big time.
He don't have 400-yard receivers. Like he don't have receivers to be throwing for 400 yards.
He is such a unique.
He's an enigma.
Player. But the guy, like everything that he does, like you know what it reminds me? 2 years ago, we were having the same conversation about Dak Prescott. I promise. We were like, I don't know, like he's getting it done, and then he comes out this year, and you're like, no, this guy is absolutely elite.
But he's been able to play his style. Like that's the thing. Like,
we don't know in 2 years where Lamar's at. Steven, you touched on it. It's your third year.
It's his third year.
23-year-old kid. So,
Oh,
but that's But that's
a great like that. Like
So before I get to your overreaction, Jeff, gotta bring in our boy Jelani from What the Game Means Me podcast.
Hey,
what up, Jelani?
hey.
What up?
What's going on, y'all?
What up?
What's
What
going
up?
on? What's up?
hey, you on
Yes,
TikTok?
sir.
Huh? Oh yeah, definitely. Appreciate
Jelani
it.
been on the TikTok. I'm loving it.
Yeah, man. I know.
trying.
I'm telling you, bro.
trying.
I didn't download. I gotta get that. I gotta get it cooking as well. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you came into the best part of the segment where we're doing the overreactions. So I'm going around the horn now. I'm gonna go with Jeff, and then I'm hit Steven, and I got you on the third.
Of course.
All right. So Jeff, your overreaction this week.
Mine's real quick. So the 2020 draft class, NFL draft class of Herbert, Tua, and Burrow is going to be better is going to have more championships than Elway, Marino, and Kelly.
Yeah.
Man, that would rival a cruise take right there, man.
Yo,
Yeah, that's the ultimate. Yeah.
Nah, that
83.
won't rival no
Yeah,
Cruz
I'm
tape.
good. Appreciate it.
Cruz got on here and said DK gonna be the greatest wide receiver of all time. That ain't arguing nothing Cruz ever said.
Well, I mean,
He also said Fitzpatrick deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But
Yeah, Steven and Chris's face when he said Metcalf was gonna be the greatest wide receiver of all time. Steven looked baffled, like he can't
That was
believe he
my
really
favorite
heard
point.
that from
No,
a
but
network.
did you hear what I did after
Coach
that,
said,
though?
I thought his camera paused.
no, I was like, at
Couch
first I was
Coach like, hey, are you high? Like,
Steven
Steven said,
I was like, baby, bro.
But he could really like.
baby bro.
There's a sprinkle of truth in that, though. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, there is a way it could happen. I don't anticipate it, but like,
Yeah,
Nah,
but
don't take
yeah,
up for that, man.
yeah, but and the thing
I
is,
said it on the show. I'm gonna say it again today.
right, and we
Yeah,
said
yo,
it.
Cruz Island.
And we said something unrealistic. Like if we say Russell Wilson gonna play till he.
Well, how did he just
45.
do yesterday? He was 7 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown.
But
I
still,
mean, yeah, but like,
So
bro,
was I.
to realistically jump and say like DK is
It's
going to be
over.
the greatest, like it didn't say like he didn't say he has a. He said if he stays healthy, that was the only factor he threw in there. Was if
Right.
DK stays healthy, he becomes the greatest wide receiver of all time. But
Jeff
that
right
is
now
a
is thankful for this,
Is-
right? Because he
and-
just said that Burrow and that Herbert and that Tua are going to rival Marino, and that may
In no
be
way.
a little bit more crazy.
Or
Like
success.
for real though.
I
Really?
don't
Because
think
you're
so,
comparing
though.
You're comparing
Elway-
three
It's only 2
individual.
Super Bowls.
Elway-
He said they'll have more championships. That's 2 Super Bowls.
You know, 2 Super Bowls. I would hope for the life of me.
I think they could get it done.
Yeah.
It's only 2. Like
And-
so, if, I think them quarterbacks together could win 3.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
That's why
what
we're
Big
going
Ben,
Tua.
Eli, and Big Ben, Eli, and
They're
Phil
gonna give you
Rivers. They
two
got
of them?
4. They got 4 together, right? Big Ben got
Potentially.
2. Eli got 2.
2, yeah. And the funny thing about
Well,
it's funny,
they live in the Chiefs world right now. I'm just saying.
but
They do, but the Chiefs ain't gonna reign forever.
right. But
I
what's
don't
funny
know.
about last week's take though, in a weird way? So Steven, did you find it weird that the Seahawks gave Pete Carroll a 5-year extension, and we were just talking about
Yes.
I was like, yo, that's so crazy. Like, yo, Pete Carroll needs to give us 10% of that. Because we were saying if Russell played he 45, if Pete Carroll's there for another 10, 15 years, and lo and behold, he got a 5-year extension.
Yep. So Pete,
what?
my man, like we're
man.
advocating hard for you on the show, bro.
Break
Hey.
bread with Coach and Steven.
Right. Hey, my routing number is my tracking number. Like,
PayPal me at.
where, right. Wire
got
to my account.
Man, I'll take a cashier's check.
Right.
I'll
right.
take a half a
Cash
percent of that. Just a half a
Big
percent.
time. And I know, I was so tripped. I felt like I was in a dream. Like I was like, huh? They just gave that man a 5-year extension. We were just talking about if Pete Carroll stayed for Seattle about 10 years. That's
He's halfway
crazy.
there. Halfway there.
Right.
This
He's
would take
halfway
some-
there to making Metcalf the best wide receiver to ever lace him up.
Yeah, 20
Steve,
years.
right.
Check back on DK 20 years from now. That's my boy.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Come on, man.
so
Come on, man.
Steven, what's your overreactions this week?
Oh man, I got one now, and I think that our guy Chris is Chris LeBron is gonna really appreciate this one. Dalvin Cook is the best running back in the NFL this season, hands down. I mean, he just played the Lions, I know, right? But over 200 yards, right? Scoring touchdowns. He just lit up Green Bay the other week when everybody said that, that he was gonna, or that we all said that the Packers were gonna win, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull up his season stats real quick. I don't have them on hand, but okay, so for this year, he's got 144 rushes, 858 yards. What week are we in right now?
9.
How many more weeks do we got? I'm not good at math. I'm from Arkansas.
Shoot. we got
another
8 more weeks.
Yeah, we
We got
got
8 more weeks of
more
football.
weeks.
All right, I'm just checking. I'm running out of
So-
toast account over here, right? So
So
144 rushes, 859 yards. That quick math, that's 6 yards to carry, right? Like that's insane. Every time he touches the ball, if he touches the ball twice, he's getting you a first down. 12 touchdowns. I mean, best running back in football right now and it's a shame because I wanted Minnesota to be so good this year, and I thought that they were, but this is like this is the best kept secret in football right now. Dalvin Cook is the best running back in the NFL right now.
So
I can't argue that.
I'm gonna do
I can't argue that.
So I'm gonna do an audible, Jelani. I'm gonna get yours next, but I'm gonna do my overreaction because it kind of relative to Steven. So he said Minnesota's success, they've had a down year. In the great words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
Oh,
The Minnesota Vikings, au contraire. The Minnesota Vikings can make a late push.
Oh, absolutely.
They're at 3-5, and now mind you, close your ears momentarily.
The Cowboys did it.
So they go to Chicago, that's banged up. They go close your ears, Mo. They play Dallas right before Thanksgiving.
That's all you got to say.
They go to Carolina
gotta
and
say.
then Jacksonville. So at 3-5, this Minnesota Viking team could potentially be 7-5 in the next 4 weeks.
But we weren't anticipating this start to the season as wild.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
Correct. But it ain't over.
You right.
By no shot of imagination.
And the Vikings are talented too. Like I agree with you that they could, and because we've seen a team do it. The Cowboys did it that 1 year right after the trade after Amari Cooper. They lost one game, finished 10-6. But Minnesota just started off bad, and you didn't understand why. I mean, Kirk Cousins
lost
was
by
playing
1 to
bad.
Seattle.
Yeah, and there were some games they could very well. They're 3-5, and they very well could be 5-3. They lost a couple close games. Ultimately, I think they just need to figure it out. Like Kirk Cousins went through a rough patch, which is one of those when your guy goes through a rough patch, it looks like he bouncing back from it. That's good going into the second half of the season because there's no saying they're 3-5. There's no saying they don't finish the second half 7-1.
Oh, and they got a rookie. And they got a rookie receiver in Jefferson.
Right. Jeff Jefferson has been balling.
They just lost Stephon Diggs, who may be the best receiver in the NFL right now. Just saying, he may be up there in the conversation that nobody's having. Like no one is talking about Diggs right now. You shake your head. You can shake your head. That's fine. Y'all were wrong about Ryan Tannehill too. Just saying.
I was with you on Ryan Tannehill though. I was with you. You pointed it out, and I was with you. I wouldn't have said it, but I was with you though.
Mo, you can come with me. Everybody else was wrong about Ryan Tannehill.
I'm
just saying, Stephon Diggs is
it,
having a great year. Stephon Diggs is having a great year.
He is, but just to throw
really,
him like.
really good.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're talking, he's going up against the greatest of all time in DK Metcalf.
He's behind him. I mean, if DK Metcalf is the best receiver that's ever going to lace, Stephon Diggs is top 5 ever.
But the best receiver in football, though, the best receiver in football this year to me, hands down, is Devontae Adams. And that's why Devontae Adams. This year, right now, Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. This year through week 8, Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. Michael Thomas has been hurt. Julio has missed a couple. I'm factoring all that in now. I think the two best receivers is like DeAndre and Devontae Adams right now. Diggs is up there, especially, but I factor Michael Thomas hasn't played, but 2 weeks now? You know
that ain't everybody else's fault.
It's not, but what I'm saying is like, I'm still Devontae Adams right now to me is still better than Stephon Diggs. Like Devontae Adams, when he's healthy, he goes crazy. His problem is just his health.
We should do a show called Versus. We take 2 players and we go versus, and then
editor.
That's why you the pod father.
Mr. LeBron.
That's why you the pod father. That's why you the pod father. You know what? Jeff? We'll talk after the show.
We all have to side differently and give our takes. Like that.
Yeah, like a versus battle where we get in the group chat first. Boom versus who? Keep it very evenly matched where people can sway both ways. Don't do Dalvin Cook versus Clyde Edwards-Helaire or something. But
something honorable, right? And we have great Wi-Fi, so we won't have a Teddy Riley situation. Hey, but so I mean, that's why I say, hey man, you the pod father for the reason. Trust me,
Dalvin Cook, you the pod father. Let's run it back in football.
I don't disagree with that, Steven. That's not a wild take. To me, that's not wild.
I think it's
talking about it,
but before
everyone's giving Alvin Kamara the love right now. Everybody
before yesterday was Derrick Henry.
Because Derrick
Henry. Thank you, and Derrick Henry.
Yesterday was Derrick Henry. I agree.
Right? Because the way you're talking, Steven, Dalvin Cook might have a Adrian Peterson 2012 year.
I mean, like I said, I'm not good at math.
He's on pace for about
1,700 yards.
1,700, yeah, he's on pace for almost 18. Could be potentially 2,000. It depends on.
I'm working on a story for the website about like how much I don't care about running backs, and then that's a great point you bring up. Like you look at Adrian Peterson, everything he did, he made $100 million, no playoff wins. I'm just saying, like we could argue it all I want. It makes no difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like real quick, I'm being totally honest. Does anybody remember the gentleman's name who was the running back for the Chiefs last year that had such a great game in the Super Bowl? I don't remember his name.
Damian Williams?
Yeah, Damian Williams.
But I'm saying, like, I don't even remember. And he
opted out this year.
Yeah, right. It's the running back position is really, really weird. Really weird. So anyway.
So I'm gonna give Jelani take momentarily. So I got another guest in the building. I got our guy, Prez, Chris LeBron. What up, man?
Our editor.
What up?
Did you hear me? Did you hear me, Chris? Did you hear what I said?
Oh yeah, I heard you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Definitely appreciate you.
And Mo's take on Devontae Adams. I agree.
Devontae Adams is a dog at wide receiver, bro.
I mean, he's not terrible. I'm not saying he's bad, but I mean,
He's the best route runner in football.
Yeah.
And the best route runner in football.
Not the best at the slant route. There's only one of those.
Tonight.
He's the best route runner in football. I mean, he catches everything. He touchdowns. He's so good. But Dalvin to me is the best running back in football too. Like he's playing. He does everything. He could do it on the ground. He could do it on the receiving. He's carrying this football team. Like because Kirk Cousins isn't doing them.
He is right now. So I
like that.
That Dalvin Cook being the best running back in football, especially like this year, to me is spot on. And we could go through injuries and struggles of, Barkley's out and McCaffrey's out and Zeke is playing like trash. He's not even playing.
Out again.
Yeah, McCaffrey got hurt again, but ultimately you do with what you got. It's not on Dalvin Cook that CMC not playing. It's not on Dalvin Cook that Saquon Barkley
that ain't everybody
tore
else
his knee. So it's not his fault, and he's
still going up against Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he can't accept the fact that he's going, and Antonio Gibson is struggling.
Struggling.
Hey,
Struggling.
hey, real quick.
We're not going to talk about that.
I'm going to throw out some crazy receiver stats right here to just
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, number 4 in receiving yards this year, Robbie Anderson. Nobody thought
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Carolina.
And then-
Who got rid of him? Who was the team that got rid of him?
Jets.
DK Metcalf, 18 yards of reception. Stephon Diggs is great, but I'm just saying Stephon Diggs is 12.9. That's the kind of season Metcalf's having. That's insane. 18 yards a catch.
I'm telling you, dude is Randy. Like he's Moss in this generation. Like he's this generation's Moss. Like every time he touches the ball, it's almost like 20, 25 yards.
And guess who's third in everything? Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
Sort of tight end.
He's by far the best tight end in football.
I don't know about. I mean, because Kittle when he's right. Ooh.
He's not Kelce.
He's on point, right?
I take Kittle over Kelce. I take Kittle over Kelce.
That's because we're on the same side of the screen.
And the reason the reason why I would take Kittle over Kelce, I don't think the difference of Kelce and the difference of being a receiver, I don't think the gap is as big as it is as Kittle being a blocking tight end.
I knew it was coming, yeah.
I think there's a bigger gap with Kittle being a great blocking tight end than Kelce.
Always hurt.
That's not their offense.
But I just think when Kittle plays, he just started really getting hurt though. When Kittle plays, Kittle's the best tight end. It's not that it's by far. I think they're 1A and 1B, but I just would take Kittle for him being such a significant, better blocking tight end.
More areas of the game,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kittle. It's close now. If I just say who do I want as my pass catching tight end, and that's it. That's all I'm measuring my tight end off of. I take Travis Kelce, but if I want a full package. Yeah, if I want a full package as a tight end, George Kittle gonna be effective when he ain't catching passes because he's not as athletic.
And he's got a better hairdo. I'm just saying, like his hairdo is way better than Kelsey's. So you gotta throw swag.
Kelsey does though, as far as movements.
We're not saying he's trash.
It's
I'm saying they're 1A and 1B. I just think Kittle's 1A.
I don't know. In Webster's dictionary, next to the word hater, it says one who disagrees with another person's opinion. That's the definition of hating.
No, it's not hating. I just don't think he's in Kelsey's league.
Right.
I think Kelsey's in a league by himself at tight end.
This
Yeah.
kid,
I think to Jeff's point though.
Yeah,
because it's like you said, it's just the offense that they were like Kittle. I was gonna agree. Like Kittle's just a dog, but he has to be a dog because they pride themselves off on running first, and then of course,
that's
pass catching comes second. Yeah, so Travis, obviously there's so many tools on that offense.
We did a show last year about tight ends, and I went back and watched all the tape, and like Kittle, there was one series. It was three consecutive plays the 49ers ran. The first one, he lined up out wide and caught a first down pass. Then the next one, he motioned down, to like a typical inline tight end and had a block, and the runner got like 5 yards. And then the next one, he like lined up at fullback and ran some like crazy reverse, and they got like 10 yards on it. These are 3 consecutive plays. This guy does so much on that offense. And Kelsey's just a different animal. Like he lines up wide receiver. I think it's like, man, it's 75, maybe 75% of the time. Like he's like Gesicki's having a good year for the Dolphins, for instance. Yeah. He's a wide receiver. He lines up at wide receiver 80% of the game. That's a wide receiver. So he's not even playing tight end. So he just is labeled by tight end. So anyway,
I think it's probably just like an eye of the beholder thing, because I think if Mo's like me, which it sounds like he is, like I just love the overall physicality of Kittle. I just think that he plays like mean football.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So Jelani, your overreaction this week.
Man, my one overreaction, Mo's team messed it up for me. I was gonna say y'all was gonna win the division. Like the way Gilbert came in and inspired y'all, I thought y'all was gonna win the division. But that last throw kind of deflated that overreaction. But I guess it's not really an overreaction, but I guess I gotta double down on what I said on See You Sunday. I had to change my pick, and me and Steven went back and forth a little bit in the group message earlier about it. But I think the Saints might win the Super Bowl. Like I said, I had a feeling when I woke up on Saturday morning, and I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I picked the Bucks. To be honest, like everybody, the weak point I guess people were talking about was the Saints was their defense. I'm like, do y'all know who's on that side of the ball for them? Like,
Yeah.
Jordan.
it's ridiculous. I was like, and if that's the weak spot y'all are talking about, and they're getting their 2 top receivers back, then there's really no question. I was like, they're gonna probably.
Well, we were questioning the secondary. Like
Secondary,
that
like
was
the
the issue,
secondary,
not the front
But-
7.
Yeah, because we were saying he
understandable.
would get pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, but
understandable.
Marshawn Lattimore, like
Marshawn Lattimore, Malcolm
literally
Jenkins
against
back
the
there.
Bucks.
You were
and Mike
clowning
Evans.
Jenkins, though. To be
I
fair,
did.
though, you were clowning Jenkins on the show. Now
Who, me?
you.
I went. Oh no, I wasn't clowning Jenkins. I would never clown Jenkins. I think if I did, then I will eat my words. But I said I was talking about Lattimore. I hate Lattimore, but what I can agree on, or I guess what you guys agree on with me, I think Mo might have just said it, is he's a shutdown corner. He's going to get Mike Evans and him. Mike Evans and him hate each other. So I already knew that was, and I saw a tweet about it today. The last 4 games they played against each other, he's had 0 catches and 2 targets. My fault. 0 catches and 2 targets for Mike Evans. So what? Like I say, if that was the weak point for them, I was like, you know what? I feel like they're gonna come
That's
out
a
on top
crazy
of the win.
stat. That's a stat of the
Yeah,
night.
it's
Yes.
a ridiculous
that is a
stat.
weird
Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
Bringing it.
Best
I
cornerback
think
to
it
ever
was
play
if
the
you go
game.
back one more game after that, then I think Mike Evans tore Marshawn Lattimore up. But the last 4 meetings that they've had, he's shut them down pretty much. And I knew, like I said, with those 2 top receivers coming back, their offense, Breeze to me has just been, like I said, I think on See You Sunday, Breeze had been playing. He's been playing. He played well with but besides Traquan Smith, he was playing with practice squad guys. Of course, I know he still had Jared Cook and he still got Alvin Kamara, but I was like, you had his 2 top receivers back in, and they just the energy that they have, and I'm talking so highly about them. I'm a Falcons fan. It disgusts me right now. But the energy that they,
You're just a professional, buddy.
Exactly. But the energy that they play with, the energy that that everybody brings to the team, you even see you in the locker room, the dancing. What do you call it? With backup.
James.
Name, but James.
Eating
W's.
Eating W's was rude.
I love that.
I
love
think
that.
that's the corniest thing ever.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that crazy bastard. I do.
But
And then
It was
what's
unprofessional.
I just don't think you can
Unprofessional.
deny the chemistry that they all
He is.
that they have,
He is unprofessional.
and
Wonder why
just
Chris
the
doesn't
way
like
that they
it.
play. So I don't know. That's my little overreaction. I think Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl. Sorry, I think the Saints are probably primed for the Super Bowl.
Nice.
If not winning it,
Mark
they're
it down.
definitely making
wow.
the appearance. So, which is
wow. So
The NFC does look
Jelani,
wide open.
yeah. So Jelani, so it could be a potential where Jameis Winston goes back and eat another W. In the Super Bowl.
it might be.
Wow, what
Tampa.
a storyline.
in Tampa.
Yeah, and so funny. And,
He get them
know,
W's at Publix, right?
Yeah.
Go to
Hello.
Walmart. They only
Hello.
sell V's at Walmart. You get
right, no crab legs, yeah.
Into them
Right.
crab legs.
Yeah, that's why he went back to Tampa to get eat a W and some crab legs. So, and then before I get to you, Chris, so you say he's unprofessional. Well, he just as unprofessional as Golden Tate, huh?
Professional, yeah. Don't get me started with Golden Tate.
He's a
I
good
never
guy.
wanted him. I hope they cut him. He's something else. But he's been doing this since Seattle. People don't remember that. He's been
Right, he's
been a heck.
yeah.
That's why
Right.
Yeah. That's why he's not in Seattle no more. And
Yeah, well, besides the situation with the wife.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
other than that, right.
that stuff is crazy.
Right,
That's wild.
right.
His stuff is crazy,
Right.
and he has a lot of stuff that off the field, or you're just like, this,
Right.
yeah.
He ain't
I don't
worth
know.
it. Yeah.
He ain't worth it. They should just get this, just be done with him by now. But they, we're pushing for the playoffs, so I guess
It's still wide open.
pushing for the division championship.
That's true.
Hey,
Right.
Judge got that
Yeah.
team ready, man. Judge has got that team ready.
You can't be
Yeah, look-
giving up 5-10
Yeah.
receivers at this time of year.
Unless y'all ain't got us on the schedule no more, man.
That's-
If y'all had us about 3-4
exactly.
times,
We don't play Washington no more, so.
I know, right?
But you know what's crazy? It's just like
Yeah.
that. We could easily be 0-9.
Right,
like that.
right.
Just-
Ain't that
so it's
something?
like,
You know
It's
what?
so
What's crazy is
man.
that as a Midwesterner, we think that New York and Washington play every week. Like it's all the same game to us. We're like, let me guess, it's Philadelphia and Dallas, or it's Washington and Dallas.
It does feel like that, like every week.
Yeah.
They play each other the same way. The same way with like Chargers and Raiders. They play 8 times a year. Like I
Yes.
swear, it all blends in.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh play each other every week.
Yep.
Oh, I hope
Right.
I can't take no
Yeah.
more.
So
That's a rough
right.
day.
So Chris. Yeah. So Chris, your overreaction this week.
Tampa Bay is not going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Whatever happened yesterday, I couldn't believe it. It was just,
Yeah.
I was in shock. I think that's the most shocking thing of the year. Is that
In 2020, that's saying something.
because
A lot.
to score 3 points is one thing, but like
Chris,
really
you may
is,
know
bro.
this.
They
You
didn't
may
even
know
really
this, man. When was the last time that Brady did not throw a touchdown and multiple
no,
interceptions?
he's had games where he hasn't thrown touchdowns before. I know that, but
And multiple interceptions.
this was just bad. This was
Yeah.
It was
was
worst
like
game since
They
2000.
were trying to force it way too much.
they were
I
just.
think,
I
Trying to get
don't.
around the ball a lot.
Yeah.
They-
I think
they
Dan
don't know-
Orlovsky said it best today. That
They don't know
I
their
think-
identity right now. They don't know if they're a passing team. They don't know if they want to run the football. Like
No, they didn't run the football.
They ran the ball what 5
Yeah.
times yesterday?
5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, because
messed
what
me up
happened?
in fantasy.
and New Orleans just punched them in the mouth. Like, yo, we're taking this is our division. Like,
Brees came in and took that record back. That was cold.
yeah, they took they're going to be
Oh.
battling for that touchdown record for
I know,
back and
right.
forth, but
Yeah.
man, that's disappointing. It was going to be a toss up who was going to win, but they got punched in the mouth. That's
Ooh.
crazy. Like he got punched. They got punched in the mouth, and that's not good. That hurt me. The way they played, that was a terrible effort. And then Antonio Brown, you would think Antonio Brown's here. They're gonna have. Everyone's gonna be open. You can't double team everyone.
Right. Someone had
But-
by default. Someone is open.
And here's the thing: they
yeah.
didn't double team everyone. That's what was so
No,
weird
no.
about the.
That's what's
Right,
impressive.
right.
Like, and,
They
and
just
Brady.
had shadows.
That's probably top 3 worst Tom Brady games ever played.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that was-
Hey,
He
take
looked-
a old guy though. We have those days, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you just
yeah.
can't.
And
How do you
and I
think
think
Bill
that's what-
Belichick watched that
that's
game?
what's going to be with Tom. With
Yeah.
Tom all year is you're going to get the good and then you're going to get the bad. For the first time ever, that's the Tom Brady we're going to get this year. We're going to get good Tom Brady where he throws 5 touchdowns, and then we're going to get bad Tom Brady. I never thought I would see this, but it's crazy. Yeah. So,
Terrible Tom.
my other hot take, my overreaction, the Buffalo Bills, they're going to the Super Bowl. Going to the
Over
Super Bowl.
KC, over
There's
KC.
no
Yeah.
way. There's
Going to
no
Super
way.
Bowl. Going to Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
I mean,
Feel it.
they
Best
got
team in New York.
The best team in
The ceiling is the roof.
really.
Yeah, that's true, right? Ain't that something like
They're the only
because
team in
they
New
play in New
York.
Jersey.
Yeah. I like that. I know they struggled for a little bit, but that was a big win versus Seattle, a team that I thought would be a Super Bowl type team. So
The NFC is wide open, guys. Like,
the whole NFL is wide open. It's just crazy.
I
Especially
think the
the
AFC
NFC.
just as wide open. I mean, you got
Oh,
Tennessee,
absolutely.
you got the Steelers, you got the Ravens, you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills. Like,
Vegas.
I think
They
there's
could
like
beat
2
the
teams in the AFC. I think there's like 2 teams that are like above the crowd. Like maybe not by much, but I think that the Pittsburgh and the Chiefs are like above the guys' hands. But like the NFC, there's like
right,
5,
but
6 teams that
but-
are like right there.
to
Right.
your
I was
point,
rooting
Right.
for Pittsburgh to lose yesterday. I was rooting for Pittsburgh to lose.
to Steven's point,
I
though,
wanted them to win so bad. I was
one of
praying. I
the-
was praying for
one of
it.
those 2 teams needed everything they could do to beat Dallas Cowboys with a 4-string quarterback.
Exactly. That was not an impressive
One of your
win.
2 teams
Not an
almost
impressive
lost to
win.
the Dallas Cowboys with a 4-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
I
wanted
mean,
to say
Not an
second
impressive
place.
the
win.
Bucks almost lost to the Giants. The Chiefs almost lost to the Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
like
that's how narrow the gap.
Right.
Yeah, but the Steelers should have. That should not have been. The Steelers should have went in Dallas and punked them.
But they
And,
did.
They almost lost. Like to Cooper Rush. Like
that
come on
score,
now.
the score for the Bucks and the Saints should have been the score for the Steelers and
Exactly.
the Cowboys. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the Saints put out a statement game. Like, oh,
Yes.
whatever y'all doing in Tampa Bay, we got this. And
Y'all are still little brother.
Pittsburgh went to Dallas and
played to the competition. They played
the early one. Like that's not a good. I mean, it's a win. Listen, you take the wins. Obviously,
you take the win, right?
Take it as a wake up call too.
That's a wake up call. They need to wake up because they can't play like that against going into the playoffs.
How about Big Ben trying to fake an injury? You guys
I know, right?
Oh man,
he might not last. He may not last the year.
I mean, he's been doing that for you. Take it from a guy that's watched so many games he's played. Like he does that every time it's close. He's like, and then they get that ball back, and then Randolph Max goes out there and gets that field goal. He's like, "No, I'm good."
And I know you probably was rooting for Dallas, Jeff. Getting ready for that. Have a cigar, you and Mercury Morris. So you won't have an undefeated season. So
they won't have a lot of losses on their schedule. They'll be favored in every game except Baltimore. Maybe Baltimore Thanksgiving.
And I think that's like this is like the best way to start that soft schedule for them though. For real is like you're probably thinking like, man, we just beat some Goliaths in our schedule, right? Like these are easy wins, and like you squeaked out a victory. Like that may be like the best like win for them for this year is because of like how it's gonna like they can't fall asleep at the wheel right now. Like they got to go out and earn every win right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So fellas, man, this wraps up this week's Overreaction Monday. I'm gonna go around the horn. Where they can find you on social media and your plugs. So I'm gonna go with you first, Mo.
You can find me on social media, Mo_Cheese15 for my personal account, Up in Flames Pod, for my podcast, Twitter and Instagram. Check us out. Check everybody his content out on offtheballnetwork.com. We got the Prez, both the VPs in here, big time contributors with Jelani, Steven, and Chris. We really got the whole gang. We missing Cruz and a couple other folks, but go Up in Flames Pod. Check me out anywhere you could get a podcast. You can check it out, and just continue to follow the whole Off the Ball Network. Everybody is individuals. Continue to check out our lives when we get on like this, because it's gonna be nothing but good, fair content where everybody ain't too one-sided on one thing or another, and it's always a great conversation. So, Coach, I appreciate you for letting me come on today.
Absolutely. And we got a scoring update in the Monday Night Football game where the Jets are winning 3-0 with 8 minutes to go.
The Jets are so bad that they're going to mess up getting the number 1 draft pick. Like, they're the Sacramento Kings of the NFL right now. This win is going to cost them Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, hey. You mean Justin Fields?
Or Justin Fields.
You know how I feel.
I was on your Buckeyes remix. I expressed my feelings
about
That's
a hot take.
Yeah. Jelani.
Yes, of course, and I wanted to thank you, of course, for letting me hop in. Try to get some work in any way possible on vacation, helping out family, but definitely love to get on and talk talk sports with you guys any chance I get. So appreciate you for letting me hop on. You can find me on Twitter. I'm probably one of the most active at What the Game Means to Me, or WTGMTM podcast. I'm always retweeting these guys' content and episodes and lives and everything, because like Mo just said, everybody's doing amazing things, wonderful things. So definitely make sure you guys follow each and every one of us. Check out the live, check out episodes, and yeah.
Don't forget Jelani's TikTok. You got to pick up Jelani.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you.
I got to get TikTok just for Jelani. Like I've been holding out.
If not, you can just. I'll be posting on Instagram. So Instagram, you can follow me at WTGMTM podcast as well. So just for those that don't want to download it, I know it took me a minute to come around to it. But gotta do what I gotta do. To get our content out there.
And I guess it's the perfect timing because Chris is doing something I think in most cases would be sacrilegious. But man, where can they find you on social media, Chris? With that Tom Brady, that would be a bobblehead, or what would it be called? What would it be?
The Funko Pop.
Oh, interesting.
I have that and a Bret Hart Funko Pop.
I'll see your and I'll throw in.
But there you go. See, that's who is that?
Are we doing trinkets?
I might need me one.
It's Hulk. Oh yeah, I gotta start my Funko. Oh, now we're gonna do the Funko show. The pop show. There you go.
Yeah.
This my dude right here. He's at every show.
I'm not home. I don't know that much to the show.
Yeah, my little Gardno, little Gibbs.
Oh, look at this. We're off the rails.
Right, hey.
We've gone on.
And that's something we all have figurines.
You don't got
That's
a
what
Dak
makes it
Prescott,
amazing.
Funko Pop?
No.
He said no.
Oh,
Mo probably in the same boat. Yeah, we don't got that.
Yeah,
Steven, you got to check. I did an Office episode on Jeff Needs Help, man. You got to check that out.
Dude, you got to make another one. I'm like one of the biggest Office fans you'll ever meet.
I did a trivia.
The greatest show of all time.
The greatest show of all time.
Simple. Greatest show of all time.
I take Grey's Anatomy over the Office.
You got
I take Grey's Anatomy over the Office.
Because you was the one that had that hot take like one day, right? You said that the Office was trash.
I said the Office was trash. I was on Cruise Island.
Have you watched Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
That's why I don't
like
value
Grey's
the
Anatomy.
tape. I've never even seen Grey's Anatomy. I won't even
Grey's
watch
Anatomy
it.
scares me. All that
They have the
blood and
same
gore.
storyline. They've been talking about the same thing for 20 years.
Right. That mess scares me.
Grey's Anatomy is older than Jelani, and I mean that.
I swear. I remember
Perhaps.
my mom watching it when I was like 4.
And I mean that.
Bro,
Oh, my
Grey's
God.
Anatomy is better than The Office.
You're crazy.
No way.
I've never even seen
now
Grey's
that-
Anatomy, and I don't
now
believe
that-
I think it's the same
It's
show.
an overreaction.
Yeah.
What?
That's a fireable offense. That's a fireable offense.
Oh my God.
Like, dude, like The
It feels
Office
like
gives
there's
me
white
through
people
like
jokes in
bad
there
times in
somewhere.
life.
Like,
Like,
the white people jokes.
Yeah, I was with Mo with not having the Finkel thing, but yeah, this I gotta hop off, bro.
bro,
I can't even be, we can't. Yeah, I can't do it.
Bro,
Grey's
the
Wait,
Anatomy.
honestly, I'm not gonna front. Like The Office, like you cannot be in a bad mood when you watch The Office. Like if you're in a bad mood,
Never.
it
You
would
know
take you
what Scott
completely off.
Yeah, even the cringe
That
episodes.
like,
Right.
Oh, man.
Right.
Pam could work my nerves a little bit. Like, okay, we get it. We get it. We get it, Pam.
Diversity Day? Come on.
Diversity Day, yeah.
Diversity Day, yes. That's literally the
Yes.
third episode, the first season.
Yes.
Diversity Day, bro. Like,
Bro.
Hey guys,
That,
Jim's face when he hears that Mo doesn't like the show.
yeah.
Right.
I might have
Oh,
to
man.
reassign Mo.
I can't believe y'all. Like, I can't believe
Oh
y'all.
my God. Like, I can, like,
What's your favorite show ever?
You know Grey's Anatomy? Like, whoa.
It ain't Grey's Anatomy.
That's not my favorite show. Nah, I
Grey's
don't really,
Anatomy depressed me. After
like, I
McDreamy
don't really
died,
watch.
I can't
like,
even
my
watch
favorite
those
was
show.
done.
shows, man. I won't even
I
give
was
them.
done.
The only
After they killed McDreamy off,
If
I
Mo
was done.
says Friends is better than The Office, then I'm
You
done.
gotta say Friends.
What?
No, I like
Yeah.
Friends. Like
No,
I know the cool thing now is
Don't
to
say
hate
it.
Friends. I know
Don't
that that's
say
it.
trendy
I
now.
don't watch.
Cool.
I don't really watch shows
I've
like that.
never-
I
Like
know
that's
that
not
it's
what
trendy
my.
to hate Friends this year for whatever reason, but like Friends is one of the
People
best
love
shows
Friends,
ever
man.
made too.
That's
Oh, yeah,
not my
Friends is funny.
favorite show
Friends is
though.
weird,
Like I
but
don't
I
watch
like
them
it,
kind of shows.
I like Friends.
Come on, Mo. You got to give us something.
It's
to watch.
nostalgia.
You never watched
I mean, I think
Friends
the
is like
greatest show
like-
of all time is Law and Order SVU. That's the greatest show of all time.
Okay.
Like yeah, Law and Order SVU. Listen,
My wife would
Olivia-
agree with you. She watches all those
Yeah.
crime.
I remember
Listen,
I used to always watch.
Olivia Benson. If I ever had a chance to get with her, my wife, you good as gone. All right, Olivia
right,
Benson
okay.
is mine for the
No
taking.
problem.
Hey, he's
All
on
right,
Cruise
now.
Island now.
Flames.
Terrible.
He's going rogue.
Facts,
Know
right.
his actions.
The words expressed by Mo does not is a reflection of Off the Ball
Exactly.
Network, Couch Coach
No,
Live.
no,
John
no.
Hayes.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Bro, Olivia Benson, I am in love with. I've been in love with her since I was a kid. I
So
think Law
because
and
you
Order
find someone
SVU.
attractive, that makes the show good for you. Okay,
Nah,
so now I know. Now I
SVU
understand why you don't like The Office.
That and Chicago PD. I'm big on Chicago PD. I think that's a great show too. I've gotten into that a lot too. But I don't really watch shows. I don't know. I'm not like the biggest.
Feel you.
I don't
show
like.
person.
I don't watch
Lately-
a lot of
Power.
shows either.
Power was good.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
watch Power.
I didn't-
Yeah, Chris
I didn't
just
really
getting
watch
into
Power though.
Yo,
I ain't even really
I didn't
know.
either. I binged it. I had to binge it.
I binged it too. Yeah,
I
I
binged
binged it
it. I
too.
binged it like in 3
This is
weeks.
the best
and finished
rabbit
it.
hole
Yep,
we've
in
ever
three. Yep,
gone
like
down.
3
Yeah.
weeks.
Anybody else
Hours.
watch Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Mandalorian is the greatest.
Oh, Jeff, that's what I got to start watching. The
My
Mandalorian. 'Cause you
wife
know what's
is a
crazy?
big
I
Mandalorian
just
fan,
got
too.
started with Star Wars this year. The pandemic was the reason why I started watching Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm about to have to
I was
start
one of those people who said Star Wars was trash. Star Wars was trash and all that. I was one of those hypocrites. And
Yeah.
You was
and then-
wrong.
Hey,
You gonna make
Star
a
Wars
little
not bad.
apology?
I was wrong. I apologize.
Yeah,
I
wrong.
won't say a word
on
because
every platform. I apologize because I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good. I mean, like what
Mandalorian
was
is the greatest.
I was that way with Harry
yeah,
Potter
I
for a
gotta start
while.
watching it, but Star Wars is actually pretty good.
Harry Potter is great.
I was that way with Harry Potter. I used to make fun
You.
of people for liking Harry Potter.
Harry Potter
And
is.
I know I'm gonna pull a Prez. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Harry Potter is like one of the best series of movies
happened to
ever.
your show, Coach? I apologize.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to be one of the brothers though. Like I used to be one of running around all the little black kids. I was like the only one that watched Harry Potter. My homeboy, bro. You lame, bro. We be at basketball practice. What you about to do? What you about to do? I'm about to go watch Harry Potter. Like, bro, it's Halloween. You gotta watch some Harry Potter. Like, that's what I used to be on.
Yo, he from the school of Hogwarts.
Hey, I would have went to Hogwarts if
I
they
would
would
have
have
too.
recruited me.
That's
Hey,
yeah.
This is a show in itself. Like
I'd have went and played
Yeah,
Quidditch.
really
I would have played Quidditch at Hogwarts if they would have recruited me.
That was
100%.
always
Mo's probably one of the best 5 Quidditch players I ever saw in my life. Ever.
Yeah, Hall of Fame, like hands
Easily.
down. Overreaction Monday.
I would have got the golden snitch from Harry. They
Golden
man, look, I would have got the golden
You went
snitch from
deep.
Harry. Come on, man.
Yikes.
Come on,
you
man.
were deep in that. Golden
Yeah.
stature, whatever you said.
I would have been shot
Yeah.
with Snape.
That's
Snape,
SpongeBob.
Snape
Long
for
show.
president.
Long show. SpongeBob.
Yeah. So Chris, social media plug, and also and tell them about the projects you've been active, brother.
Oh yeah, he been busy.
Oh yeah. You could find. Where's my pop? Oh yeah. Off the ball. Yeah. I forgot.
Find him
what
at
the show was.
Hogwarts.
Yeah, I was thinking Hogwarts and stuff, and Mo on a broom and stuff, just flying around.
Hey,
Wearing Harry Potter glasses.
with his cast on his leg. But,
Slytherin, I can see it. Mo's a Slytherin.
yeah.
well, yeah, you can find me off the ball. Well, I'm thinking about Mo on a
Oh,
broom.
this is great.
I want to hear Mo cast the spell before this show ends.
Did I
So do your best Mo cast right now.
That he let us in a little bit.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I love Harry Potter.
I love
Hey,
Harry Potter.
if that make me, a little
I gotta
nerdy.
watch Harry Potter.
No, man, you're in a safe space. You're in a safe space.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings too. I heard is good.
Oh, dude, Lord of the
I heard
Rings
is
is
good.
yup.
I was never big on Lord of the Rings. Like I liked it. I just wasn't like Harry Potter was my favorite. Like I like Lord of the Rings, but Harry Potter was my favorite though. Of all like
I'm
the
not going to
medieval.
say anything
I
because
can't. I'm so
make it worse.
sidetracked right now.
Yes.
Yeah. What's a show that you guys haven't watched that you want to watch? Not to get off track. You can find me off the platform, but I'm very curious to see because there's so many shows. There's so many shows out here. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Like I said, off the
I
ball
never got into
podcast.
Breaking Bad. I never watched
all
it.
podcast platforms. You can find me on social media, off the ball pod. I'm writing a piece on the Knicks right now too, so it's long, it's sad, it's a lot of emotions. So it's
Yeah.
A
Steven.
Stephen King book.
Steven. Okay. Steven.
I wrote it and I started crying.
Steven, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, man. Well, again, thank you for letting me on whatever show this is today. Having me on Overreaction Monday, Coach. You can find me on Twitter at StephenBTG, which stands for Breaking the Game, the podcast that me and Austin Carr co-host, which is an NBA show. You can find me on Instagram at Stephen W. Gillespie. Look up the podcast, Breaking the Game. It's available wherever you get your podcasts, or just wrote a piece about, how confident an NBA fan should be in this year's draft based on how their team had drafted in prior years, which was a very cool history exercise for me. A lot of teams didn't really draft well at their positions. I think the Utah Jazz was the only team that drafted where I knew every player's name, right? So and I and I like to consider myself a little bit of an NBA historian, right? And I learned a lot doing it. So go test your mettle on offtheballnetwork.com. You can find that article available under the NBA section. I think it's still on the homepage. Go and check that out. We record our podcast every Thursday and Sunday afternoon. The show's available the following week. Got some cool things in the works. We just did a show about where we did our NBA player rankings, where we split up everybody into tiers, and we just revealed our lowest ranking. And each episode, we're going to get higher up to the more, the bigger names, the more awarded names and accoladed names and all that. So yeah, go check out the show. Go follow everybody. I listen personally to everybody's work that they put up. On my way to work when I walk in, I'm on Spotify and I'm listening to Chris and Couch and Jelani and Mo and Jeff and all the other guys. Everybody's got a lot of cool guests and stuff like that. And I just want to, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Dude, I was just getting ready to.
Go ahead.
You do it. You got it.
Transition. I'll just sit here and hold mine while you talk.
Just a quick shout out to a friend of the network, the Hardwood Herald. Just I got this in the mail today. Steven got his in the mail today.
Same day.
This is his draft. Just excellent work.
It's already laminated.
Oh, I know. That's why I said I'm not even cracking it anymore. Just he put.
Look at this beautiful, artwork. It's so cool. Yeah, Corey. Just big shout out to you, man.
Great job, and he's a super good friend of the shows, and we love him. So just a quick shout out to Corey, man. That's
Hardwood Herald on Twitter. Go look him up. I think he may still have some available. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if he sold out.
Yeah, he does.
Sold out.
It's all just that's quick shout out to him, man. He's real.
Absolutely.
He always retweets my stuff. Yeah. You can find me. Jeff Needs Sports. Jeff Needs Help. Right now, it's mainly Jeff Needs Sports. The Off the Ball Network, like we talked about. Go check out all these guys' articles. It's great. I do the power rankings every week, college and pro.
The best you'll ever see.
Power
best you'll ever see.
Before, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
I woke up, what was it, 2 days ago, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, I get alerts from the network, obviously, and I check out the data, the stats, all that good stuff, and I see 10,000, and I'm like, oh, that's total views of everything on the thing. No.
This is Jeff.
Jeff Rankin's got
it's over like 14,000 now. It's over like
14,000
people interactions. It's crazy.
It's fun. I love to do it.
Right.
But these guys, what they're doing, like Steve, every time something comes out, I'm like, man, you guys are doing so much smart stuff. Jelani's 2-minute drill. Coach does his,
4 down,
the 4 down preview. It's awesome. And the other guys too, man. Everybody, Cruz, Stewart, Coach Fa is doing awesome.
Austin's
stuff.
working on some fantasy football stuff.
Shout out to Jerg.
Everybody is
Edgar
what Edgar does. A lot of people don't even know how much Edgar does.
Edgar's the glue guy. He's the glue guy.
Media,
all the NFL fans out there, like any college fans, I do the Buckeye remix every Sunday, which I literally just tell you how I felt after watching the Buckeye game. I'm going to get my man Mo on there soon as we can get our time.
I'm not even a Buckeye fan, and I enjoy that, dude. You're converting me a little bit into a Buckeye fan.
Week, but man, check out.
Oh, you don't want to be a Buckeyes fan.
You don't want to be a Buckeyes man.
Couch is turning me into a North Carolina fan.
Yeah.
Jeff just kind of swayed me into rooting for the Buckeyes. I like my guys to be happy.
Them Canes are really good, by the way. But anyway, that's a different show. But anyway, check out all the guys. Check out the network. We love everybody participates. Nathaniel McWord here. I don't know whose boy that is. I'm in. You want to talk Star Wars and sports? I appreciate you. You're my guy, man.
I think he's with All Sports, All Plays, the ASAP.
Oh, okay.
network.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would know his Twitter name. I apologize. So that's cool. Anyway. We like everybody that participates, everybody that comments. My mother's on here watching. She had a good time tonight. She loves you guys. Anyway, just
shout out Game Ball to Jeff's mom.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, she's ride or die since day one. So anyway, just check out everybody's work. We're having a ball, and things they get better every day. Literally every day, things get a little bit better.
Yeah, and definitely huge shout. Yeah, definitely huge shout out to Steven's article. And I did, history lesson. My Bulls picked 4th. So, in consecutive years, we drafted the pastor, Marcus Fazer.
Yeah.
Eddie Curry.
Eddie Curry.
And then Eddie Curry.
The pride of Thornwood, Illinois.
Why we always got to talk
And then the Knicks traded 2 first-round picks for a guy with a heart problem.
Correct. And the crazy thing about it, we was going to give him a pension, but Isaiah Thomas was like, I just want him. Cool. We got to pay him for 50 years.
And then we get
to be fair,
all right, I don't want to get more sad talking about the Knicks.
Yeah.
I know, right? Everything comes back to that, right? But definitely follow the guys as mentioned. Also follow me on social media, Couch Coach Live. Also, we do the podcast
shout out
tomorrow
to the
night.
Hoopers too.
The Hoopers. Yep.
Yeah. Wednesday morning.
Yeah, Wednesday morning. Yep.
So we got something going on.
This Veterans Day.
And Chris Bolton too, who's another new member.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got to get him on.
I forget people. My bad. But shout out to everyone.
So follow the show, Couch Coach Live. We're doing a show tomorrow night at 8:00.
Yes.
Also, we did Thursdays. We're gonna do 4 Down. So you'll see it on the site on Off the Ball Network. We do the 4 Down NFL preview. Then Saturday we do See You Sunday.
That's right.
And man, so definitely follow me on social media, Couch Coach Live. Anywhere you get your podcast.
College
Anywhere, Apple, Spotify. Check out the website, couchcoachlive.com. And man, so this has been this week's Overreaction Monday. We'll catch you guys next week, man. This is
much love, everybody.
Overreaction Monday. Yes, indeed.
Don't be racist.